I was bleeding through everything. And then my doctor finally realized, like, okay, you have PCOS. And they said if I had gone for like another 2 periods without like birth control or anything, I would have needed blood transfusions. That's how much blood I was losing.
Oh my God,
Damn.
Catherine.
Guess what, guys?
We're not doctors.
No, we are not.
If you're going to be making any major medical decisions, please consult your doctor.
Yes, and that includes diets, exercise, medications, and surgery.
We love you guys.
And we want you to be in our OSLP family forever.
So be careful
And consult
your doctors.
Welcome back, OSLP family. Welcome back, OSLP family.
Welcome.
You are listening to Our Sleeve Life podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mel.
And Kelly forgot to do something.
You forgot to hit record. No, it's recording right now.
Nope. You'll see it in a second.
Okay, we're going to see what that's all about.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Now you can read our Sleeve Life podcast.
Oh, yay.
Because I forgot to unmirror the video.
I love it. I love it. So for those that are on YouTube, if you're watching this, you probably saw that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you need to hit that bell and the subscribe button. It means more to us than it does to you.
Yes. If you miss saying that.
I do miss saying that. I do. Because it's on your phone, guys.
It is.
It's totally on your phone.
It's on your phone.
And you get a new episode every Tuesday. And you guys would know all the things that are happening.
Oh my God, she's going to finish the whole thing.
I know. You just have to do all the things.
Okay. Are you done?
I am.
Okay. So we have a great guest on today.
We do have a guest today.
We actually talked to her a few months ago, and she is absolutely outstanding. And we will tell you who she is and what she's done.
Yeah, because she's also a bariatric patient.
Correct.
And she wrote a book. Her name is Catherine Oni. I'm sorry, Catherine. We went over this before we started the pod. It is Catherine Oni.
There you go.
That's right.
Got
bitches.
it.
I got it.
Yep. And she was nice enough to send us her book, which was If Her Love Was Enough.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into what it's about and why she wrote it and all of this. But welcome onto the show, Catherine.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I feel just blessed.
Aw. Well, we're
'Cause I love
blessed
you,
to
Jill.
hear.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You remind me of like me and my bestie.
Aw.
Well,
I
you moved
love
away from
that.
me. She
Where's
moved away from me.
Where'd she move?
Sad day.
She moved to New Orleans.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
New Orleans is
kind
fun.
Of rude.
It was kind of
Okay.
rude,
Kind of
to
rude.
be
It's
honest.
okay. She had to
Yeah.
do what was best for her.
Which,
Fair.
rude, first
Yeah.
off.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah.
No, it has to
right?
be best for both of us.
Yeah,
Duh.
exactly. I'm not just going to get up and move to Orlando without making sure that she's coming with me.
Exactly.
I
Like,
agree.
yeah.
Fair.
So, where are you located?
I was about to ask that too.
So I am in Connecticut right now.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'm originally from New York, and so is she.
Oh, okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
We're New Yorkers.
I can hear it in your voice now that you said it.
Yeah.
I can very much tell. I'm going to be in Connecticut next month
You are in October,
Oh,
actually.
where?
in Hartford.
That's about an hour away.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
Hit me up.
I will.
There you
I
go.
will.
She'll be
yeah.
there for a few days.
I
too.
am. I'm gonna be there for I think five days.
Yeah.
4 nights, 5 days, something like that.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
yeah,
I love it. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's going to go see the sleeve dietitian.
yeah, my twin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
And she had a
fun.
baby. So
I love her.
yeah,
she's amazing.
Ah.
Oh, jinx.
I'm, yeah,
This podcast is all about you. So
Yes.
I know that you're a bariatric patient. Tell us where this all started. Like, why did you even think that you needed bariatric surgery?
Um, well, I mean, we all know we've all struggled, right?
Mhm.
Like our entire life with weight.
Yep.
And so I've always wanted to be a writer. That was always a dream of mine.
Nice.
And I just never had the idea in my head.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, up until COVID and like really when I did get my surgery.
Okay.
Um, so I got pregnant in actually just around this time, um, 6 years ago,
Okay.
and then I gave birth to my son in 2019
Okay.
of April. And it was, like, kind of traumatic
Oh,
in a way.
Okay. What
I
happened?
had so I was already overweight. At that point, I was, like, 2 so I had to go through IVF and all of that
okay.
because autoimmune disease, yay!
Gotta love them. Gotta hate
Specifically
them.
PCOS.
Okay.
Okay.
So I had to go through fertility treatments, and I blew up to, like, 265,
Okay.
and then everything was fine, fine, fine. I wasn't gaining that much weight, and then I got pre-eclampsia, like
Mm.
Ooh,
severe pre-eclampsia,
that's scary.
where I went up to 327 pounds of just because of pre-eclampsia.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, I'm not gonna say just because of that, because it's not like I was eating, like, great, but I was at, like I had gained, like, 20 pounds throughout my whole pregnancy up until 6 months.
Wow.
Okay.
And then it just kept going up, 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 up. My blood pressure was I don't even know how I'm here. My blood pressure was like 200 over like 1 something,
Shit.
like
Whoa.
119, 120, or it was high,
Yeah.
too high. So I was put on bed rest, and then my son was just like, "F this, I wanna come out." So after he came out, we thought that everything, I would go back down, and I was like, "I gotta lose this weight, yada, yada, yada," and it didn't.
Mm.
I had severe sleep apnea. I had to be driven to work, like, back and forth.
Oh,
My doctor was like, "You cannot drive." I
Wow.
had a
why did he
newborn
say?
baby, and it was my first, and I was just so swollen and in so much pain,
Oh.
like, all the time, and I was teaching. So it was just a lot, and so a friend of mine had, gotten the sleeve done prior, like, a couple years before I, even thought about it,
Mhm.
and I saw how happy she was, and I was like, "I just need to do this because, like, I'm a mother and I wanna live."
Right? You wanna live for your kid, you wanna live for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I'm terrified of death, it's scary. So, it's
You're
100%.
just a
not
mixture of
alone.
things. So I ended up getting the surgery, and it was the best thing that I ever did.
Oh,
Okay, I
I
got
was so much
questions.
happier.
So,
Like
I'd like to go back just a tiny bit. Can you explain to people of our audience that don't understand what PCOS is and what
yeah.
preeclampsia is? Did I say that right?
So
I think so.
PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it basically wreaks havoc on your entire body. People just think it has to do with your period,
Mhm.
um, but it's so much more than that. For some people, it is about just their period and fertility and not ovulating.
Mhm.
Um, and it happens because of too much testosterone in your body, because there's cysts in your ovaries that are just imbalancing your hormones. But there's also people like myself, who's the lucky one. I was chosen um, to for it to be really metabolic as well.
Mm.
So it
Okay.
really just affects your entire body.
Mm.
It affects your hormones, your moods, your cravings, acne, hair, thinning hair,
Mm.
and I never really got a period. Like, I never ovulated up until I got surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So you
I
even
Interesting.
did
never ovulated.
the fertility, but prior to surgery because you weren't ovulating, and then you started
Yes, like,
ovulating
they were
after.
like, "You are not ovulating whatsoever."
Mm.
And
Wow.
then, like, there were like, that's the other thing is, like, I have severe anemia as well.
Mm.
Like, even right now, my doctor's like, "I don't know how you're not, like, fainting every now and then." I think I'm at, like, 7, and a normal range, like, the lowest you can be is, like, a 12.
Oh.
So it's
You're a
not
7
laugh.
right
I
now?
laugh at things like this, so I apologize.
Oh,
No, that's okay.
I'm
That's
right.
how
Yeah,
we deal with shit.
that's how I do
Right.
it. I'm very much giving you my support because I know how sucky it can be when you win that body lottery
Yes,
and you get all the
totally.
problems.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, like, a lot of body hair and, like, losing weight is very hard. My hormones are not the same. It causes thyroid issues.
Mhm.
Um, and so it's just, like, a mixture of things. So, like, before I got the surgery, I was having a period maybe every 6 months, and it was so heavy.
Yeah.
And before we knew what it was.
We love ProCare. You guys know this. And guess what? They have a brand new product out and it tastes like an orange Tic Tac.
That's right. I have got it in my hot little hands right now. It's their easy to swallow tablet in Citrus Grove. And both of us have fully switched over to it.
We had to because it's easy to swallow, doesn't stick, and it has 45 milligrams of iron. And we both need that.
Yes, we do. So go to procarenow.com to take care of all your bariatric body needs. And our code is the only one that gets you a full 15% off. So use code OSLP at checkout. Are you feeling a little sluggish? Little lack of protein? Little lack of caffeine? Well, we got the fix for that.
That's right. Dive Bar Nutrition has the best protein bars. They have caffeine, protein, and they taste delicious.
So head on over to divebarnutrition.com and use code OSLP at checkout.
I was bleeding through everything, and then my doctor finally realized, like, "Okay, you have PCOS," and they said if I had gone for, like, another 2 periods without, like, birth control or anything, I would have needed blood transfusions. That's how much blood I was losing.
Oh my God,
Damn.
Catherine. I'm so sorry. That's
It's okay.
awful. Well, because I have bad periods, so I
Yeah.
understand those. And so when you're saying this, I'd be like, fuck. No,
Mhm.
thank you at
Right.
all.
And, like, it's so and the problem is we're women,
Mhm.
right? And everything's just like, it's just your weight. And yes, it partly is. But guess what? Even if I got a hysterectomy, even when I lost all this weight, I still had multiple issues, like with my
Mhm.
hormone imbalance and your cortisol levels, and like I'm still growing hair, still hair thinning.
Mhm.
It'll always be there
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna just take metformin
Yeah.
because, there's so many issues.
Yeah.
And then for preeclampsia, it is basically very high blood pressure due
Okay.
to
Mhm.
pregnancy. And it can cause, if not caught, it can cause severe seizures and death.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
It's very, very
That's
scary.
scary. So
Yeah.
did they put you on bed
Mm,
rest?
Yeah, I was at
You
the
were.
very end. So I was on bed rest for about 2 weeks until, like, I was not allowed to do anything. Like, I
Mhm.
had to only stay in the bed.
Oh,
And I was like, okay, this is kind of fun.
Not. Poor
Um,
girl.
Probably fun
it's
for the
okay.
first, day.
Right? Yeah. You're like, I get to
Yeah.
just hang out in
I'm like, wow,
here.
I don't
Yeah.
have to teach anymore. This is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
my question is did the surgery did it help your PCOS at all?
it did. So I got my period every month
Okay.
on time.
Okay.
Nice.
My skin did clear.
Okay.
Yay.
And then I did start ovulating.
There you go. Look at
So did you have
that.
another
Yeah.
baby since you could
I did, but I still had
Ah.
to do IVF.
Oh, you did?
Oh, that
Okay.
But that's
Okay.
sucks.
okay. And it was and I hate to say this because my poor son, I love him so much, but my second pregnancy was so easy.
Was
Oh,
it?
good.
It was easier. I was sick more,
Okay.
but it was just I felt good. I was like, "Damn, look at me. I'm so cute pregnant." Instead
Aw.
of like this whale. Not that that's nice about myself, but,
Well, when you're pregnant like that, I get it. I feel you. When I was 9 months pregnant and my belly was out, I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
You actually like feel like an animal at that point because like
Yeah,
there's something inside you and it's the
for
fucking
sure.
weirdest feeling.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I will never have to
It's like the
feel
alien,
that.
like the movie, like where it comes out
Yeah,
of
no, I'm
them
good.
and their tummy. In my head, I was like, because you could sometimes, I don't know about your kids, but like I could see Dylan's like sometimes handprint move or like a foot
Oh,
move and stuff. So it's like, that's creepy.
that's cool.
No, that's
I felt the
creepy.
kicks. I saw the kicks, but not like the footprints or the hands.
Yeah, it's
Nope, I'm
wild.
good.
Kelly's like, "No, thank you."
No,
No.
I'm good too. I'm the same way. Like vaginal delivery, I didn't have that. God bless whoever did because I could never. That terrifies me.
I did. I
God bless
did.
you. Like,
Yeah, the
truly.
Ring of Fire fucking hurts. That's when
Yeah.
the head pops out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll never
God,
forget that. Like, I don't know what it feels like anymore, but I remember being fucking like, "It hurts so bad." It was, like, crazy.
And you had an epidural.
At the very end, they weren't supposed to give it to me because I was already 9 centimeters. So I only had
mm.
the epidural in for like 3 hours, but I did have it in when I was pushing, and I could still feel the ring.
Yeah.
So could you I don't even know what it would be like if I didn't have the epidural for those last few hours. Because
God
I
No.
bless
pushed for
those
44
women.
minutes. They told me, "It's your first pregnancy, you're probably gonna push for a long time." And I was like, "No, thank you. That's not happening." Well, because my brain started doing that goofy thing where I'm like, well, the birth canal is not that long. So why would it take so long? Like they're half
Right.
the size of the birth canal. So I was like, we're going to push. And it took 44 minutes. And that boy was out at 4:44. So I
Oh,
know how long
angel
it took.
numbers. Love
Yeah,
that.
Yep. He was.
he was.
Except for I left to go back to work because it was taking too long.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
You're like, just let me know when.
20 minutes later, he was born.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Yep.
was like, you little motherfucker.
Like, son of a bitch.
How
I was
dare you.
here hours in the waiting room.
Mhm.
Nope. Go to work. Pops right out.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So you had surgery.
Yes. So I had the surgery and then I just started thinking, just about like my weight. And I was part of the weight loss community,
Yeah.
weight loss surgery community, excuse me. And it was just so supportive and I just felt so good. And I was just like so blessed. And in my own personal experience, I was with someone whom I loved deeply and like he was everything.
Okay.
And I was a binge eater.
Mm.
I shouldn't say was. I'm a binge eater. Hello, my name is Catherine Oni, and I'm a binge eater. And
Nice to meet you, Catherine.
as was he. And
Mm.
so we were in this like very toxic cycle.
Mm.
And at a certain point, so we had both blew up in weight. And so at a certain point, I was like, we got to stop this. Like, this is not good for us. Like, we have too much to live for, whatever. And he was in a bad, bad depression.
Mm.
And so I was like, let's just do Weight Watchers. We could do this. It's fine. And he was like, I'm not doing it. So I did it, thinking that like I would help him and
Right.
motivate him.
Yeah.
And then he just kept going downhill. And I broke up because I was like, I don't know how else to help you.
Mm.
And so 6 months after our breakup, he passed.
Mm.
He died. And he died I mean, of course it was his weight, but he was just living unhealthily.
Mm.
And so the main thing was he had cellulitis, which
Okay.
is a skin
Yeah.
condition. It's
Mhm.
like a skin infection. And if you don't get it, you know,
Treated.
medicated,
Yep.
you can go sepsis.
Yep.
So he
Ah.
didn't get it medicated when he should have. And so he
Oh.
went sepsis, he had multiple heart attacks, and, like, it took him, like, almost a month to pass.
Oh, wow. I'm so
Um,
Oh my
sorry.
God.
Thank you. So it was really and he died at 505 pounds.
Wow.
And that's just because that's how high the scale went.
Mm.
Um, so I needed to heal from that.
Mhm.
Like, it was, and I'm married now, and my husband is like, I cannot find a more selfless man than my husband.
Aw.
I mean, I remember when I first dated him, I was just like, "Look, listen up, bud. This is what happened.
Yeah.
He will always be in my heart. You can't touch that part of my heart,
Mm.
but I will give you the rest." And he
Mm.
was like, "That's your past. Like, I understand. It's not like it's out of your control. It's out of
Yeah.
my control. Like, I'm not. What am I gonna do? Fight with a dead guy? Be jealous over a dead guy?"
Yeah.
He was like, "No." So he was very supportive, and I just felt like I needed to heal because I held so much guilt,
Yeah.
Mm.
especially after my surgery. I'm like, "Here I am. Why didn't he get the surgery? It was
Mm.
offered to him. He could have gotten it for free. Like, I should
Wow.
have pushed it more." So
Mhm.
I just needed to do a lot of healing. And then
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, there's so many other people like him, like me, that are out there. I mean, I saw it in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other part too is like binge eating is an addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just is. And I'm so sick and tired of people being like, well, go on a diet, fatty. And it's like, it's so much deeper than that because
Yeah.
now it's not just me overeating or binge eating. It's also like I have PCOS, like I have a
Mhm.
medical condition.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of both. So within the novel, I wanted to heal the love that I had for this man
Mm.
and like really show how wonderful he was because he really was like he wasn't meant for this earth. He was too good.
Oh.
Um but I wanted to show society what it looks like and what a person with an addiction or who's overweight actually goes through.
Yeah.
I know
Like
it's not talked
listen
about
to
enough.
it internally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's wild. Like
Yeah.
we both identify as food addicts.
Yeah.
We know what it's like for people to tell us, that's not a thing. Guess what? It's a fucking thing.
It doesn't classify as an addiction, but
No.
No.
it hits every single mark on their classification
Yeah.
sheet
We talked to an
of being an
addiction
addiction.
therapist and she pulled
Yeah.
it out and she asked me and Kelly the questions and we literally scored to where we would be addicts.
Yeah, the only thing is that we didn't put ourselves in harm to get.
Except that we are.
Well, I mean, but
Yeah, but we're not sucking dicks to get food. So there's that.
I mean, some people might. I don't know. You could be putting yourself in harm for some crumble cookies.
That's a true story.
You could.
Good.
God forbid. Don't you chew that and spit it out.
That's right.
And if you guys watch TikTok, you will know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
I am not condoning that behavior.
No, because I did that. I did
I
that
know
once.
you did.
I did it once and it scared the fuck out of me. So
Yeah.
it's like we would never tell someone to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No.
we
Anyways.
digress.
You guys are positive.
Thank you.
Trolls.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Those trolls under the bridge.
I really
Go
feel
back under your
for
troll.
you and your partner that passed because like both family and friends, like my
Mhm.
brother was up in the 400s. Kelly's dating someone that was up in the 400s. And it's like,
Mhm.
if you don't take control, now we know what can really happen because we
Yeah.
haven't really seen someone that didn't yet.
Mhm.
And it's very shocking and sad to see that like he couldn't
is.
get to the help
It
that he
is.
needed.
Well, and it's hard also because you've got your weight that you're battling, but then you also have, it sounds like he had a lot of mental health
Yes.
issues that fell in line with that whole thing.
Yep.
And I think it's hard when you see somebody and you love them and you want to give them everything and you want to help them do better. And you just can't force anybody to do better.
Nope.
Like
they have to do it themselves.
exactly. And sometimes if they're not going to do it for themselves, you do have to leave that situation because it's their mental health is tied to your mental health when you are, especially like when you're together for a long time, for, couple years, or I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter how long you've been together, but when you're together and maybe you live together, like you're around that person a lot and their mental health plays a part in your mental health.
For sure.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of drama with his friends and all of that. So my book is fictional. It is
Mhm.
fictional.
Yes.
There are things in there that are fiction and not true.
Okay.
But there's a little validity to, I mean, the most valid thing was, our love and our
Yeah.
relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and my binge eating
Yeah.
or, Christine, her binge eating,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was, and it's funny because not like haha funny, but some people are like, this is not a romance.
Yeah.
This is really dark. And I'm like, yeah,
Well,
but
because
there's some love in there,
it
But-
can be dark.
It
Yeah.
can
Just
be.
can be
And
dark.
I'm thinking
some.
that's what your brain, and that actually goes into my next question is like, that's what your brain created.
Yeah.
That's what you created. So it doesn't matter what other people classify it as, because
Right.
that's your piece of work that's on the table.
Mhm.
My question is when did you decide that you were going to write this and what kind of spurred that?
So everything we just talked about led up to that.
Well, the moment. Like, what was your
And
moment of like, I'm writing this?
Yep.
it literally just popped into my head one day. I
Oh,
was thinking about him and I was just like, why aren't I writing a book about this? Like, why aren't I writing a book about him and me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it really is a beautiful love story,
Yeah.
regardless of everything else.
Yeah.
Um, it really was. And then I was like, I'm gonna start writing this. I have off on the summers. Like,
There you
it's
go.
it was COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if teaching's it anymore for me
Yeah.
because it's just that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't have time for. But and I have my conspiracy theories about this, but I was like, I have summers off. It's COVID. Let me just everybody needs healing right now,
Yes. They do.
including myself. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be a better human being. We just need light.
Yeah.
And so it was in 2020. It was that summer. It was like August, I think, July or August
Wow.
2020.
Nice.
And I
Wow.
was like, I'm going to start writing this. And then I did that summer. I think I wrote like my first chapter. And then I was like, oh, right. I think I need a break. This is a little too dark, a
Oh,
little too triggering.
yeah.
Yep.
And then I stopped. But it really did take me 3 years to write
Okay.
because I was on and off.
Okay. Did it?
Well,
Um,
that makes sense. Like that's got to be hard
Yeah.
to write.
Well, you're reliving all those
All those.
moments.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And whether, fictional or true, it does tie back into the truth. So therefore it I can understand why it's triggering.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Do you feel like it has helped you heal?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of things came out. Um, And I actually just wrote a novella that I, released, like,
Ooh.
What's
the
that?
20th. So what is that, 8 days ago?
Oh,
Um,
what's the name of it?
it's very, very short, but, it is actually based on in real life and in the book, so Gabriel has, like, someone who he considers a sister named Brittany,
Okay.
and she and I became really close. Christine and Brittany became really close as well, but in
Yeah.
real life, me and
Mhm.
this woman became really close as well.
Okay.
And so due after his death, she and I got into a huge fight where we did not talk for like 8 years.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then randomly she just like reached out to me and was like, "I'm done. Like we need to talk." We did talk and I don't know, we have some like weird soul connection, she and I.
Okay.
Like I
Yeah.
feel like she and I are also sisters.
Oh.
Um And so while I was writing the book, we were just speaking about things because she was there at the end for him
Okay.
Mm.
and I wasn't because I wasn't allowed to be.
Okay.
Because I was iced out. And so there was a lot of things that were brought to light. And I was like, you know what? I need to write about this too. So it's
Okay.
from Brittany's point of view as well. And it
Oh,
Oh.
also
cool.
answers some questions that some readers may have had in the first book,
Okay.
Oh,
if her love was enough.
Okay.
nice.
So what's the novella called?
We could have saved you.
Ooh.
Ooh. And now, does novella mean just shorter?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
about like 80 pages.
Oh, nice. I love that.
I love that it ties into the original story because I'm one of those people that I'm like, I really like when books are like, it's about these two characters and then it's like the friends of the characters, like, and it kind of morphs into this like big, I don't know, family story of
Yeah,
family. And so
and you just
you
get
get
different
answers to all those
yeah,
questions.
Yeah.
and you get different point of views.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. Which is
Yeah.
a big
And
deal.
yeah, and then my 3rd, which I'm currently working on,
Ooh.
this will definitely be a romance. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
as dark.
Okay. All right.
It is about s somewhat about my husband and I,
Oh, good.
because
Oh.
I promised him, I was like, "If I do this, I'll write about us," and he's like, "You do what you gotta do."
Aw, I
Yeah,
love
that
it.
sounds like a good guy. I like
Yeah.
it.
So has everybody been supportive of not one, just like your weight loss and your book?
I Many people have been very supportive of my weight loss.
Awesome.
My book, some family members were like, about it
Okay.
because, doesn't make them look good. But
Well,
Oh.
I'm a truth teller and I tell it like it is. And it's not about them, it's about me.
Yeah.
yeah. At the end of the day, It's about you.
Um, so, but no, everybody has been very supportive of me.
Okay,
Nice.
good.
In both weight loss and my book. They're like, "You do what you gotta do. I think it's beautiful. Like, this is wonderful for you." Um, yeah, I don't think anybody's been like,
That's good.
don't
That's
get it."
good.
That's
What about
awesome.
your students or the other teachers?
So I had left before I published it. So
Oh,
Oh.
once my second was born, I actually left the teaching field.
Oh, you did?
okay.
Okay.
So
I
you're out of it
did. I
completely.
couldn't do it anymore. The passion wasn't there.
Mhm.
The district itself was having a lot of issues that I just didn't wanna be a part of, like a
Got it.
lot of legal things. I'm like, "I don't wanna be part of this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of my students were like, "Wow, my teacher wrote a book, like, this is amazing." Because I still keep in touch with some students.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, once you find a
Um,
good teacher, we don't like to let you
Yeah.
go.
maybe. And the teachers were supportive. They're like, "This is amazing, good for you. Like, look at you
Oh,
go."
I
Good.
love that.
Good. It's
But
important.
of course, I'm more scared with them because they're English teachers, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "Okay, here we go." Because as English teachers, all we do is analyze and
Yes.
tear apart books and
Oh, do you?
everything.
I
Oh,
did
do
not know
you?
that.
Well, yeah, because English.
Well, I get that it's English, but I didn't know that, like, one, that you guys read books and did that. I
Well,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
because you're an English teacher. You
Yes,
like to
so
dissect
you can see it
everything.
all.
Yeah.
And you have to help, the students dissect it to write the
Mhm.
essays and
Oh,
so on and
that's
so
true.
forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you really dive deep in.
I
And then you
like
have
it.
to like the grammar and all
Oh,
that
I
stuff.
suck at grammar. You would like you would love to
It's like
see
my
my
worst
essays.
trait.
What?
It's my worst trait.
It's your worst
As, like,
trait.
an
Is
English teacher and,
is
like, a
grammar.
writer, it because grammar it's just the English language, like, it kinda sucks. It's the hardest language.
It is.
It is. There's
Because
a lot
there's
of
words that
meanings.
mean several different things
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of just one.
Yeah, for sure. So I have a question in regards to social media and your surgery. So you said you had an Instagram
For weight loss
for weight loss
surgery.
surgery. What w- and you said you don't have it anymore.
I don't have the weight loss one, no.
So why
Yeah, what happened?
why not? Why don't you?
Honestly, because so the thing with social media, and you know this, and even, like, right now while I'm trying to build my audience, if you're not constantly on,
Mhm.
Mhm.
it is just you lose followers. I
You
was up
do.
to, like, 10 to 12,000 followers at one point.
Wow.
I know, and I
That's
was
great.
like, "Why do they even want me? Why do they even, like not want me, but why do they even wanna see, like, what I have to say? Like,
Yeah.
who am I?" But it was really just so supportive, and, like, it helped me so much. Like,
Yeah.
I lost 130 pounds because of the help and
Wow.
support from the community,
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Like,
that.
think about yourselves too in the community,
Yeah.
like, even you guys were helpful for
Oh,
me.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Um, and then, like, I started feeling like some clicks started happening,
Which yeah.
um, and then I was like, "Okay," and then it was just, like, because it was COVID and I had to go back to teaching
Mm,
and, like, learning ho that type of life, and I just kind of fell off. Like,
Yeah.
I
okay.
just didn't post as much anymore.
Okay.
And because I fell off, I was like, "Well, what's the point?" And then I really dropped followers, like, people just were like, "Alright, we're done, we're done, we're done."
That's sad.
Um,
That is really
Social
sad.
media is a thing. I mean, even for my author account, I haven't posted for a couple days. The struggle is real right now, and I've lost, like, a couple of people just from
Really?
not posting every day.
Yep. Yep.
They want consistency.
Mhm.
Yep.
They do, we know, because like, I tell people all the time, you have to be on there every day. Whether that's once a day, you just have to be on there at least.
Yeah.
Well, and
So
that's why we drop a new episode every single Tuesday, whether we want to or not.
that's right.
Yeah.
You
You
guys
want the
get content
I mean,
all
consistency.
we
the time.
always want to, but
I
you
was
know
gonna
what?
say, I don't know where we would not.
I
This
mean,
is
we don't
part of
even
our
take breaks for holidays, like,
yeah, we
really.
just make sure it's done. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't
Listen, but social media is also very overwhelming.
it can be.
Like,
Yes.
you have to
Yes.
always be on. So, of
Mhm.
course, you would want a break. I went on today, I was like, "Listen, my mental health is not great right now, like, sometimes
Yeah.
we do need a break."
Yep.
Yeah.
And you guys have to just respect that.
Yeah.
Just like you would
100%.
want us to respect your mental health, you gotta do the same for us.
Oh, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
And that's hard for a lot of people
Yeah.
because it's like, "Come on, we wanna see into your life, we wanna hear from you," and
Yeah.
maybe you and I mean, you guys are the joy of someone's life in one day, and same for me, like, we don't know, but it is a lot of stress
It
It
is.
is.
to
It
be
is.
on a pedestal consistently, constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you at today with your bariatric journey?
Oh god. Not where I wanna be.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
So, it is totally fine, and I
Yeah.
have to give myself grace.
Mhm.
Um, so after I had my daughter, I I mean, I think I gained like 30 pounds with my daughter,
Wow.
and then as soon as she came out, the weight went off with it.
Nice.
When I got pregnant, I was 203,
Okay.
and which is like on the smaller end for my body type, because I'm like no hips, no ass, none of the good stuff, you know?
Right there with you, lady.
Yep.
Like,
No hips,
and then
no
I got the
ass. It's back,
PCOS.
legs.
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
ass.
I had PCOS. You couldn't give me tits and ass.
I
Come
know,
Nope.
on.
right? At least give you something.
It's so rude.
It's
Um, but it's okay. You know why? It's probably because they're like, we know you're confident. We need to like tone you down a bit, you know?
bring that confidence
Um,
down just a bit.
So if what I'm
exactly.
understanding that you did, so you had surgery and then you got down to 203 and then you got
Oh no,
pregnant?
I went all the way down to like 190.
Oh,
Oh,
congratulations.
yeah, that's really
Thank
Okay.
you.
good.
Okay. And then
But then I started gaining a little bit weight back. Again, stress is
Mhm.
hard. And then I was doing so when I started fertility, I was at like 199, 198.
okay.
Okay.
And then with all those meds,
Yeah.
you put on weight regardless.
Right. Right.
Um, so I was at 203.
Okay.
And then I ended up at 230, or maybe it was 237. Maybe 230. I feel like it was 230, 231.
Mhm.
And with her, I actually had something called restrictive uterine growth.
Oh,
So my son was 4 weeks early
Okay.
okay.
and basically an ounce away from being 8 pounds.
Okay.
So he was a big baby,
Big
and he's
baby.
still a big boy. Like, he
Yes.
is 5 years old, but he looks like he's 8.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And that's also just genetics as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Um, but for her, she came out at like 6 pounds,
Ooh.
and they were nervous that she was gonna be a little less than that.
Okay.
Okay.
I always wondered if it was the surgery. They said that there was no science to back it up,
Okay.
Okay.
but I am always interested to see, like,
Mhm.
people who have had the surgery and then give birth. I wanna kind of see where that is. I'm not blaming the surgery at all, I mean, it's fine.
Well, no, but
Yeah.
it might be just because of the less food that you can take in.
Yeah, that's what
Probably,
my
and because,
thought
like, I
is.
was grazing a lot, and I was so sick, I had to go on meds for that.
Oh,
Um, so it's a mixture of things, and I will say, like, I ate so much better with her,
Nice.
so much better,
Nice.
but I can only do such, like, small portions, like,
mhm.
every hour to 2 hours,
Yep.
and that's exactly how she is to this day. She likes to graze.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's really
and she's
funny.
tiny. She's 2 years old and 22
Oh,
pounds
wow.
Okay.
or 23 pounds.
Still
She's
small.
so small, but so mighty, my god. She's so fierce. Literally, she sasses you. Her When her brother acts up, she smacks him up, and he's like, "Eh," and I'm like, "Well, you know, she's just sticking up for herself." But so, yeah, so as soon as she came out, I dropped the weight. I was back down to 203,
Okay.
Nice.
and I was like, "Okay, this is wonderful."
Yeah.
And then the stress of a newborn with my son, who is actually, he was diagnosed a year ago with high functioning autism and
Okay.
ADHD.
Okay.
Okay.
So there was just like a lot.
That's hard.
There was that and he was 4. No, he was 3.5 at that point when she came. So
Okay.
it was a change. It was a lot going on. Um, and he was undiagnosed at that point with no services, and I was just doing the best that I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in February of 2023, She had her baptism. He had had his diagnosis, and I was feeling, oh no, had he? No, I'm sorry, he hadn't had his diagnosis at that point. But a week after her baptism, my dad ended up getting COVID
Oh.
from the baptism. We're not sure how, where, whatever. But my dad was not well. He had emphysema
Okay.
or COPD. He was
Yeah.
a teacher in the South Bronx and asbestos and all that
Yep.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And he was older. He was 72.
Okay.
And so when he was sick, he ended up tripping and falling down a flight of stairs in his house and like
Oh shit.
hit his piano,
Oh
cracked his
no.
ribs,
Oh my
like 10
gosh.
ribs, collapsed
Whoa.
lung, like it was really bad. And we thought like, okay, he'll just need rehab. It'll be fine because the doctors weren't making it seem like it was anything else.
Okay.
And then a doctor was like, "So, when an older person like breaks a rib, there's like a 10% chance of mortality."
Oh.
And I'm like, he broke 10. Are you
Yeah.
saying there's 100% like possibility of
You broke
mortality?
10
And he was
ribs?
like, yeah, basically.
Oh shit.
So my dad wasn't breathing on his own. He was on a ventilator, like all that stuff. So we had to make a
Oh.
really hard choice.
Oh,
So we
damn.
took him off the tubes. And it was really, really it's been rough since he died.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So I have gained about 40 pounds
Mhm.
since she was born. And it's a struggle. Like it's
Yeah.
a really hard struggle. Like I'm back in like bad like health habits, but not
Okay.
fully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not binge eating.
You're teetering.
I'm teetering.
Yeah.
I'm on the teetering.
Okay.
We've done that.
And then a part of me is like, do I just go on the GLP-1 meds? But like I'm concerned about that and like the repercussions of it and
Mhm.
what happens when I get off.
Mhm.
But there's ways for me to do it, right? Like I
Yeah.
Oh
could
yeah.
do my bariatric doctor said, just do the pre-op diet for 2 weeks.
No. No.
But they said that they would only do the pre-op diet for 2 weeks before I could do the meds.
What?
Yeah.
Did you ask
I
why?
I didn't, or maybe I did, and I just don't even remember because that was like a year ago.
Yeah, that seems
That
interesting.
that is toxic. That right there, that's toxic.
I know. Can you imagine? I mean, I was like, go back to the pre-op diet. You mean starve?
Yeah, you mean liquid for 2 weeks?
That's not meant.
No, it wasn't like
Oh,
that.
okay, 'cause that's what
It
Kelly
was just
had.
not as bad.
Okay.
So it wasn't as bad as like the pre-op. It's like similar to it. I'm being dramatic, but the first week it was shakes 3 times a day,
Okay.
and then 2 snacks in between.
Okay.
No.
So, like, hard-boiled egg,
No.
hummus and carrots, nuts.
I'm listening to you, but no. No.
Well, my body also was like, "F that." I'm
That's
not doing
disorder.
So did you try?
I tried it for, like, a couple of days, and then I lost 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did
Yeah.
because you're not
Yeah,
eating.
yeah, and then the second week was, like, 1 shake. Actually, was it 3 or it was, like, a month long where you, like, build yourself back up to food.
Interesting. I've never heard of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I don't like to speak bad about other people's surgeons, but what the
No,
fuck?
I know.
It's very
I know. I
confusing.
didn't really agree with it either. So then part of me is like, did I just go under too? I feel like going under is better than the pre-op.
What do you mean
Just
go
cut
under?
me open again.
Oh, just
Do
do
a
a
revision.
revision?
Well, I can safely say there are other ways to get a GLP-1 medication and prescription. We work with a company called Row. They are very good at what they do. You talk with an actual doctor. They talk through all your medications, what you're at, where your concerns are, everything.
Yeah, they go through your medical history. It's nice.
They can go through your insurance and see if your insurance will cover any portion of it. It is a great company that does great things because there are people out like your surgeon that's going to be like, "No, I want you to essentially starve for a month
and
and see how much weight you lose and then I'll give you a GLP-1
Doesn't
prescription."
make-
Fuck your face.
Yeah.
No.
right? It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. And it's interesting too because when when I got my surgery, the post-op diet was so different than so many others.
Mhm.
So a lot of others are shakes for what, 6 weeks? It was like, no, and everybody's different, I know that.
Yeah.
But the person that my friend who had it prior to me, she was like, "I'm surprised of your diet because I was on liquid diet for literally 6 to 8 weeks."
That's wild.
The 3rd day, I had to have a scrambled egg or, like, a part of a scrambled egg. So it was, like, right away your body needed, like, food. And he was
Ooh,
like, "We're not just doing shakes, we're doing shakes and food."
okay.
So it was a little shocking to me
Mhm.
that that's
Yeah.
what he said.
Yeah, because well, in one, you were the first person to say that long of a, like, pre-op diet like that because Kelly did 2 weeks, I did 1 day. So and we know most people do about a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's usually within
Mm,
a week to 2
Yeah,
weeks.
and now we know that they do shakes with some solids, in
yeah,
it, like
Yeah,
a
to
low
not,
carb.
like, total torture you
Yeah.
throughout that. But I'm
exactly.
surprised because it was like for me, it was 2 weeks liquid, 2 weeks softer pureed,
Mhm.
and then
Mm,
2 and then then I was basically cleared. So it
Yeah.
was about a month, but I was also tolerating foods very well, and so she
right,
accelerated me out quicker. It was supposed to
okay.
be 2, 2, 2, and then you could. So it was
Mm.
supposed to be 6 weeks. So I'm surprised that he would even have somebody be on liquids for 6 weeks. That's
Before.
no, after.
After, that was my friend, she had, like, 6 to 8 weeks of just liquid.
After.
So, protein shake, and then it was, like, broth.
Yeah, yeah. I remember drinking those things, especially with broth and,
Same.
like, putting in, like, protein that has no flavor and trying to mix it up and doing the
Yep.
things, but, like, 6
The
weeks of
worst time of it all,
ugh.
man,
Oh, yeah,
because then you
that
can't
time
even
sucks.
take it. You
Yeah.
could barely take it.
Yep.
They're like, "Drink this water." I'm like, "No, I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll dehydrate myself, thanks."
Yeah. Yep. Well,
Well,
if you're in the
hopefully
Speaking of
hospital,
water,
you have an IV, so you're good there.
right?
Yeah.
Well, and it
Yeah.
sounds like, you have 2 kids, you have PCOS, your father passed away.
Yep.
Like, it's super normal that you, 1, are going back to some of the old habits.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah.
we've all done it. Me and Kel have done it. It's
Yep.
just life's and it's trauma. And
Mhm.
our normal response will always probably be to go to food because it's
Mhm.
been our
Yes.
comfort for
Yes, it has.
like 30 plus years for
Yep.
us. So it's like, we know what it looks like, smells like, and feels
Mhm.
like. So we don't want to ever stray from it.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's really hard, especially
It's
from binge
so
eaters and
hard.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
And, I've done so much research on binge eating
Mhm.
because for me, I'm like, I need to understand why I do these things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I may understand it, now I need to, like, actually do something about it, but it's important for my journey to understand why people do what they do
Yes.
psychologically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and for binge eating, I remember my therapist telling me, like, and I also read somewhere, they were like, "You binge eat because, like, you've never had a say, you were never allowed to speak or be
Uh-huh.
vocal as a child, so whatever you felt had to be shoved down,
Mhm.
Hmm.
and what better way to shove it down than with food?"
Yeah.
And then actually shoving it down. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally, because you're literally and figuratively shoving things down
Yep. That's fucking
because it
wild.
makes you feel good for a little bit, like, this is delicious ice cream."
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And do
So
you have a therapist right now?
oh, yeah, I've been in therapy since high school.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Good. Good.
All
I
right.
need
Awesome.
it.
Well, we
It's
all need
I
it.
we
It's
all need
just,
it. I
it depends
mean,
on when we start.
yeah.
So,
Well, and you're going through a lot, like Mel stated, all the things that you've been going through. And so talking with somebody through that can sometimes combat that binge eating
mhm.
because you're actually like getting those things out instead of, like you said, literally and figuratively shoving it down. So
exactly.
Have you
yeah.
learned some tools to help yourself when it comes to like trauma
It's
and
definitely eating the protein.
okay.
Like, eating the protein is carbs are my weakness, and so
Okay.
is sugar.
Mm.
So I will always allow myself a dessert,
Okay.
whatever it is that I want. I'll always like, I need it. And that's part of the PCOS
Yep.
because you're insulin resistant, meaning you're always teetering with diabetes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and so I always have that sugar craving.
Yeah.
So it's also just about going back to my habits. So if also, but also helps motivate me, which is like weird for me. Um, but I will always go back and like watch all our you guys watched our sleep dietitian and watch all these bariatric dietitians or people and watch their food. What do they make? Okay, that looks great. I've done it before. Let me do it again.
There you go.
Um, so I just need, and it's all mental. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
always been all mental.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you ever
So
thought
one,
about coming back into the community?
maybe that's a thought.
Yeah.
It's a good thought. It's a great idea.
Because I mean, honestly, I know when I back away, I am less likely to do the things that I need to do or that I want to do. It's a thought. It's not really actionable. But the moment I step back in and start doing the things, that's when I'm more present in my bariatric journey.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Maybe I'll bring back way back to Kitty.
I like
Yeah,
it.
you should. And you know what? Clicks are going to happen. People are
Yeah.
assholes. There's
Oh, yeah.
haters. But what I've noticed is that when we get those people or when you get those people, that just means that like you matter. You know, you
True.
matter to some like just to people and you're going to get the good with the bad. So, and don't let them discourage you on your
Yeah.
own journey because like you've gone through a lot, you know? So it's like,
Thank
hey,
you.
man, it just, everybody's different and it
Yep.
takes day by day to get
It
this
is
under
true. It is day
control.
by day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is.
And like that's the thing too. It's like, I want to heal myself, right? But
Mhm.
also like I do want other people to feel seen and heard,
Yeah.
just like you're hearing and seeing me right now.
Yep.
And I just want that for others who struggle as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Um,
I
who
think
are
you
just
should
like
come back.
constantly put down
I know she should
and
come
have
back.
been through shit.
I think you need to come back.
We want you back.
She needs to make
want me
Kitty
back?
needs to make a return.
Yes, because people can really relate to you.
Yeah.
Like I know what it's like to lose a father that you're like
Yeah.
that you know and are close to. That's what triggered me to get surgery.
Mhm.
So like it's tough and it's hard, but like me talking about that has helped people and I feel like you talking about that especially during COVID and some
Yeah.
people really need to hear like okay, it wasn't just my grandfather or my dad that died during COVID. There other
Mhm.
people has had situations too and can really relate to you. And you're a teacher. Like you are so relatable.
Was
It's
a
like
teacher.
was a teacher. So I say once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher.
It's true.
Yeah.
I miss my teenagers, those little sociopaths.
They
Right?
all are.
Oh my God. It's
Well,
wild.
and I'm thinking like I can feel you on the regain. I regained half of what I lost at one point. I lost it again and now I've regained 30 again. So I'm on round 2 of regain. It's there and it happens. And I think if
Hard.
the more you talk about it, the less you are making those actionable steps
Mhm.
For
to
sure.
fix it.
You're completely right. And I would like that company.
Oh, Row? Yeah, it's row.co.
Yep.
We will get that to
Bro
you.
or bro?
It's
Row.
RO.
RO.
RO.co. Very
Broco.
Yep.
Roco.
Roco. Yep. They're really, really nice.
Yeah, because I was having side effects and literally I wrote in like but like this is what's happening. And then like within a couple days, like they called me. They're like, let's go over this because this sounds a little
Well,
too much.
they answered it in the moment.
Oh, they did answer in the moment.
And then she had an appointment a couple days
That's
later.
right, that's right.
Okay. I was like,
Thank you.
I don't think that they would just leave you hanging.
No, they
for
didn't.
2 days.
They didn't.
Because
They
honestly,
absolutely didn't.
it says 24 hours to get your message.
But I actually got it quicker than 24 hours.
It's a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then they're back.
I
They're-
apologize,
yeah.
Ro. I got that wrong. You guys
I
did
was like,
message
that
me
doesn't
right
sound
away. And
right
then
at
I had an
all.
appointment and we went through my symptoms.
There you go.
Because it's hard to just talk about symptoms anyway through and
It
like
is.
to write it all out because what they are concerned with is any GLP-1s, they want to make sure your blood pressure's okay, your sitting heart rate's okay, how much are you losing, are you having nausea, like all these different things, and trying to explain like what was happening to me. I was like, this just probably doesn't make sense to them. I'm like, it happened in the beginning, but by the end of the week I was fine. So I don't want you guys scared about this. So, but yeah, after I talked to them, they immediately realized I'm on a higher dose. So they literally halved my dose and I've only had a couple side effects and they haven't happened I haven't puked in a week, guys.
Yes. It's very
Ah,
exciting.
So
Yeah.
excited. So
I would never wanna eat. I would never wanna take that. That's like my meds where I'm nervous. I hate throwing up.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Well,
I
Kelly
will
hasn't thrown
will
up if that
my
helps.
body
Mhm.
Oh, good. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
will my body not to throw up.
Well,
Yeah.
and
I'm
they will
serious.
give you anti-nausea meds
They will.
as long as
Oh,
you're not on Lexapro.
Yes, and I'm on Lexapro and
mm,
Wellbutrin. I do pay for my serotonin. I do not care. And
as you should. Look,
but
mental
yeah,
health is important.
It
yes,
is.
mental health is a big deal, and Zofran apparently can fuck with
Yes.
Lexapro. I had no idea.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't know either.
but now I
Interesting.
know too, like it's kind of I feel like the GLP-1 is like putting you back in those first few months of where you have to figure out what works in your body for what you can
Yes.
eat and not eat. I'm sensitive now to salt, which is very interesting because I
Oh,
love salt. But now I'm like, this
mm.
is too salty. This is too salty to everything I'm eating. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, like it's a whole new way of like processing, like things are changing. So it's just different. And it's kind of nice because I feel like I have my restriction back. So
And that's what I want. I
yeah.
miss that. That's what helped the most. Because once I had that restriction, my mental health was like, "Oh, yeah, you got this."
Yep.
Like, your bodies and your brain are now finally together,
Yep.
Mhm.
and that's really what I miss. And it's funny that you say that about salt, because like, lettuce for me, that took me a while to
Oh,
bring
yeah, it's
back into
very
my
fibrous.
diet. Lettuce.
Yeah.
And you know what's really, really devastating to me? Deli meats. I can't do it.
Really?
Yeah, it goes right through me, and it's the most devastating thing. I am a New Yorker. We like our subs.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
like our wedges,
Fuck
and
yeah.
it's rude. It's just
It's
rude.
it is rude, man.
But so then sometimes I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna be home, I'll make it, and then I'll just
Mhm.
run to the bathroom. It's totally fine.
Right? It's like, you know what? I still want this and I'm
Yeah.
And then I'm
going to
like,
do it.
never gonna do this again because I'm on fire.
Well, you know us. We love non-scale victories. So can
Yes.
you tell us a few that you've had that you're excited about?
I mean, the fact that I got down to like the 190s, I've never been below 200 in my life.
Mhm.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I was never 200 when I was born or when I was,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for a very long time, for most of my life, my young adult to adult life. I was never under 200. I mean, I'm proud that I wrote this book.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
a
am.
huge non-scale victory.
Um, and what's another victory?
I don't know, have you
Hmm.
traveled? Have you gone to anywhere that you haven't gone before?
Mm, I don't know.
How about your clothes? Do they fit better? You got more style now?
Not right now. But back then, I was feeling really good about myself.
Yep.
Um, let's see. The fact that I'm just here doing this
Yeah.
and I'm all out here,
Yep.
Yep.
putting my business out for your thousands of followers and listeners.
Yeah.
We
Well,
love it.
it
Here I
sounds like
am.
it's your voice is your non-scale victory, being able to
Yeah.
show
And
you
I
show
want to,
you.
and always say that like my mission is always going to be I want to be the voice for underdogs. Like they deserve to be the top dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'll bark for you, woof woof. Like seriously,
Yep. I
I
get that.
will.
I like it. I like it. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. We really, really, really appreciate you taking the time out and then sharing your story, plus sharing with us about your book. Everybody, we will have that linked below, so make sure to go and purchase it and read it, and go follow Catherine, and all the things will be linked below.
That's
All
right.
right. Well, we love you guys, and we will see you next
Next
time.
time. Bye.